Hey everybody, I'm gonna wait a second for people to pop on, but by the title, we are doing some makeup today. And I am going to start with eye makeup because I feel like that's what everybody wants to see anyways. And I feel like everybody's kind of tired of seeing the full face makeup too. So we're gonna pretty much do eye makeup if we feel like, I don't know. I'm trying to share this video on my timeline and I cannot figure out how to do it. Okay, I think I got it. Anyways, so what we're going to be doing today, don't mind my hair. I washed it this morning and I've just blown it dry. I have not styled it, obviously, because it's looking a hot mess. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to do some eye makeup, but I'm going to do eye makeup first because I know that some people like doing that. I've never done it on a live video, so let's get started. So I'm going to use some tape and put tape on my outer corners. I really like doing eye makeup first when it comes to doing heavier makeup. So if you're like wanting to do like a smoky eye or something like that to where you feel like you're gonna have some fallout, doing your eye makeup first will be a much easier cleanup. So all I've got is regular tape. I think it's like Walmart brand tape or something. But so what I do is I put it on the back of my hand and pull it off. What that's going to do is it's going to take some of that stick off, so when you pull the tape off, it's not going to rip your eyeballs off. Okay, so what I'm going to do is you're going to strategically place it in the corner of your eye. So I place it right in the corner of my eye and kind of hike it to where it's almost like meeting, if I was to draw a line and a line, they would meet right there. It's really uncomfortable when you first put it on. You can see that it's like bunching under my eye. It's really uncomfortable, but it is what it is. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing on this side. And then you're gonna wanna make sure that they're nice and even, because when you pull the tape off, if they're not even, then you're gonna have like wonky stuff. So I feel like this one's a little bit higher. So I'm just gonna take the tape off and reposition it. Has anybody used tape before and liked it? This is like creating a wing eyeliner. Like I can never tell if it's even. I'm horrible at making it even. Now I need to put this one a little further up. I might have to get a new piece of tape. This one's gonna be like all sticked out. It's not gonna be sticky anymore. Okay, I think that that's as good as we're gonna get. So I'm gonna actually use an eye primer today, which is, it like never happens. It'll just be easier to blend in than like an actual concealer. No one wants wonky wings. That is so true. But I always have wonky wings, so that's why I never do them. So I'm literally using that much, which is like nothing. And I'm just gonna tap that together and put it on my eyes. I already sort of kind of did my eyebrows. I've not been liking how I've been doing my eyebrows lately. So that's just a situation all on its own. Okay, so I've got that tape on there. I've got primer on there. Now I'm going to set the primer with a little bit of powder. And we're going to use the same powder that we always use. Like I said, don't judge me by my hair. I blow dried it this morning and have not done anything to it yet. Okay, so I'm just taking a loose powder and setting that primer that we just put on. Okay, and I'm going to do something a little bit more dramatic today because I haven't done anything dramatic in a long while, so why not? Why not have fun today? Okay, so I'm going to start off with the Morphe palette and a fluffy brush, like always. I feel like this is how I always start off eye makeup looks. So I'm just going to go into this shade right here, which is like any light like nude brown will work, and I'm just going to throw that right in the crease. I'm going to be kind of messy about it, and what's nice is with this piece of tape here, you can really be messy. Because it'll create a nice sharp line when you're all finished, and you don't have to worry about cleaning anything up, which just makes everything much quicker. Okay, now I'm going to go in with a color that's a little bit darker, so I'm going to go into this color right here. I'm working mainly with warmer shades today. And I'm just going to place that almost in the same spot, but I'm not going to go as high towards my brow. All right, working back and forth. It is freaking hot in here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do with that color that I just used, I'm going to kind of bring it down in that outer V towards my lash line just a little bit. Because we're going to start darkening that outer V area. And yes, one of the reasons why I just love working with tape like this is because you can be a little bit messier, and when you're a little bit messier, it goes by a little bit quicker. So I'm just making sure that everything's nice and blended, and that's why I like using a bigger brush like this, is because while you're applying the color, you're blending it out as well. So it, like I said, nobody wants to spend 45 minutes doing their eye makeup, so the quicker that you can go, the better it is. So now I'm going to go into a little bit of a darker color, this one right here. Same exact brush, and I'm just going to start putting that in the outer corner. I'm not going to bring it up, and I'm not going to bring it in as much. So just placing that right in that outer corner. And just building up depth. And then what's left on my brush, I'm not picking up any additional product. I kind of swoop it in towards my inner corner, but I'm using very, very, very light pressure. So packing it in here, and then very light pressure, swooping it in towards the center just to blend everything together. Same exact thing, same exact color on the opposite side. And this will help elongate your eyes as well. So if you feel like you've got very short eyes or very small eyes, putting that tape out there and creating this wing right here, it's going to elongate your eyes. It's going to make your eyes look bigger. Okay, so now I'm going to switch brushes. Which brush do I want to use? So we'll use this brush right here. This is that flatter on one side, thicker on the other, and it's pretty skinny when you look at it from the top. So we're going to go into an even darker color right here. I'm staying pretty neutral to warm, using mainly browns, right now at least. So I'm going to take this color and continue placing it. So the darker we go, the more concentrated I want to keep it right in that outer corner. The smokier that you want it, the closer that you can bring it in towards the center of your eye. But when I do looks like this, I like to concentrate the darkness further out towards the corner and then bring a heavy light right in the center. Well, right in the inner corner to the center. And then same thing on the other eye. Okay, so you can see that we're starting to create that darkness right on the outer corner. That's kind of the goal that we're going for. And you can also see that that line looks a little bit harsh. I'm looking real shiny. That line looks a little bit harsh right there, but we're going to go in and we're going to blend that out a little bit later. I just want to keep on trying to pack that darkness right into that outer corner. And you just want to build it up. That's why I use so many different colors. If I was to just go in with this really, really dark color right here, it would be almost impossible to blend out later because we wouldn't have a transition color to blend it out into. Because if I get really close, you can see that lighter color that we had put right up in there. So that's what's going to help us blend. Here, I'll show you. So we're going to go into that first brush again. I'm going to kind of wipe it off on my towel a little bit. And then go into that second color that we used earlier. And go right over that line. So you can kind of see how that's diffusing out a little bit, this eye versus this eye. Okay, and then next I'm going to go in with a little bit of these two shades right here, this like yellow shade and this orange shade. Just because we are working with warmer colors today, I want to keep the warmth in there. So I'm going to pop that right where we just put that last color to further blend this line out and to keep the warmth. So you can see how this is looking a little bit more diffused than that. And that's ultimately the goal, to have a very seamless, diffused blend. Okay, so that's what we're working with so far. So now I'm going to go into the inner corner. I'm going to use this color right here. It's got a really pretty, can you see that? This color right there. It's got a really pretty like golden, almost red reflect to it once you put it on. So we're going to take that and we're just going to pack that right in the inner corner. Can you see that? Okay, so we're packing that lighter color right in that inner corner, and then we're going to go in with the transition color to blend the dark to the light. Ooh. Okay, so we're just building that lighter color up and packing that into the center. If you want more of like a reflect or like a, what am I trying to say? Like a glossy look almost, like very, very shimmery, you could put some Fix Plus or some hairspray or something on the brush before you apply that shimmer color, and it's gonna come out really pretty. So I'm just gonna go into that second color that we used and pop that right between the light shade and the dark shade that we used to kind of transition from lighter to darker without any lines. Okay, so you can see now how, hey girl, how we've got a transition from lighter into darker. Now I'm gonna go in, you can skip this step. I'm gonna go in with like a tiny bit of a black and pop that right on that outer corner. Okay, so this is my Lorac Pro palette is what I always go to for the black because it's a really pretty black and it doesn't create a lot of fallout. My hair is looking a hot mess. So I'm just gonna go in and more so like pat it right in that outer corner and kind of flick it up, but mainly keeping it low towards the lash line. And I'm just dragging it in just a tiny, tiny bit, not too much. How do you guys feel about being called out in videos? Like when you pop on and I can see your name, do you like being told hi and using your name? Or do you like being left anonymous? I always feel weird when I pop on to see somebody's video and they're like, hey Rachel, I'm like, oh God, they can see that I'm on. I don't know, I just feel weird. How do you guys feel when you go on and watch somebody's live video and they call you, they say hi and call you by your name? Am I the only one that feels weird about that? Okay, so now I'm going to go into the Lorac Unzipped palette. I'm going to go into this purpley color right here with just a little pointed brush. Oh my gosh, my tape is coming off. I can feel it. Okay, so this purpley color, just to add something fun in there. just to add some dimension and some depth. I feel like when you add multiple colors in there, it can end up really pretty. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the eye makeup, I would say. I am going to go in with a little pencil brush. So this little tiny baby guy right there, I'm going to go into the Morphe palette and I'm going to grab this first color, this one right here. It's just a super, super light color. I'm going to pop that right in my inner corner and under my brow. Okay, so now that I've got that, I can take the tape off, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with some concealer down here. Actually, what am I going to do? Okay, so when you take the tape off, you can see that you've got this nice, sharp line, which is awesome because you didn't have to do anything to achieve it. You just had to put tape on your eyes. Okay. Okay, so now that you've got that, I'm like dying in here. It is hot. I'm going to clip the back of my hair up. Oh my God. Oh, Hot Mess Express, let me tell you. Let me tell you. Okay, so now that you've got those eyes done, hey Gabby. Now that you've got those eyes done, I like to go, hey girl, how's it going? I love watching your makeup videos, by the way. I've gone back and watched a couple of your unique makeup videos and they're awesome. I love going in and watching other people what they do. Okay, now I'm going to go in with a little bit of concealer on my bottom, on my under eyes, so I can go into applying shadow on my under eyes. I feel like very backwards doing it this way. Because usually I apply foundation, concealer, powder, and then eyes. Now I'm just doing everything backwards. And what's going to be good with this is that might as well just do all the concealer, right? Have you ever used the tape trick before? I've used it a couple times, but kind of forgot about it. Then I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and she used the tape, and I was like, why not? I just dampened my sponge a little bit with some Fix Plus, just to be able to blend it out a little bit. I've never used this sponge dry like this before, and I don't know how I like it. Seriously, you have to. It's like the easiest thing ever. I always watch, now I'm blanking on her name. I'll think of it. Shoot, what's her name? Casey Holmes on YouTube. I always watch her YouTube channel, and she always does the tape before. So I was watching it last night, and I was like, hello. It makes it so easy, but then I feel so backwards when I'm doing like my concealer and my foundation and everything. So it's kind of weird. What does everybody else do first? Do you do your your eye makeup first? Do you do your foundation and concealer and powder first? Okay, so now that I've got this, I look like a crazy. Now that I've got this, I'm gonna go in with foundation. I've been mixing L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte 105 and the Pro Matte and 102 and the Pro Glow. Because I feel like I like the combination of the matte and the glow together. And I'm not quite 105 because it's a little too dark and a little too yellow, I guess. A little too orange maybe. And I can't wear the Pro Glow by itself because it's way too liquidy. Like watch, you can see the consistency difference. So how that one, that's the Pro Glow drips, that one stays in place. And I'm an oily girl anyways, so I have to use a little bit of the Pro Matte. Oh, I know. I feel like I never forget my foundation though, because I've got such red skin that my foundation. Like if I could have one thing of makeup ever and I could only use one thing, it would be foundation. Hands down. Okay, so now I'm just dotting this all over my face. I wonder why it does that. And I'm just going to take, this is my beauty spot. That's what it's called, little brush. Is it dark on your end? It's really dark on my end. I only do eye makeup. I feel like sometimes eye makeup's the hardest thing to do, so you're a step ahead. Okay, so I'm not really blending this foundation up into the concealer too much that I just did because I don't really need to. Like I said, I'm feeling very backwards. Like usually I put foundation all over and go kind of skimpy with the concealer, but I just don't know what I'm doing today, I guess. Okay, now we're starting to look a little bit more normal. Looking a little crazy there for a second. And I don't know why my face and my neck always look so different in the videos, but I promise you in real life, I look very put together. I don't know if it's the lighting or what it is, but I promise you I'm not crazy. And I would do eyeliner too. I used to really enjoy doing liquid liner, but I've been trying to do it lately. And oh my gosh, I've been ruining every makeup day that I've had because my eyeliner has turned out just very weird. It's like I haven't done it in so long that I forgot how to do it. It's horrible. So now I'm just going back in with my blender, my beauty sponge, I guess, and making sure that everything is really patted into my skin. So I had a question the other day. Somebody said that their foundation was getting super cakey and like flaking off. I feel like that is a huge issue coming from such a harsh winter into such a warm summer so quickly. Your skin kind of freaks out. It panics a little bit. So what I would say if you're having that problem as well, put on a lot of moisturizer. Make sure that you're very well moisturized throughout the day. Do a very hydrating primer and then set it with a really good setting spray. I've heard really good things about Unique setting spray. I always just use MAC Fix Plus, or I got this cucumber hydrating face mist. I got it from Marshall's, and I've really liked that too. So it's just a hydrating spray. I think it's very important if you use a powder to set a liquid foundation that you need to go back in with some sort of spray. I feel like if you don't, you're going to look very powdery and you're going to look a little crazy towards the end of the day because you didn't do anything to like marry your liquid foundation and your powder together. That's why sometimes I'll go in with my beauty sponge that's damp and put powder on top of it because you're kind of just, I don't know the right word. You're just like putting everything together. You're marrying everything together. And it works really well. Okay, so that's like foundation and concealer. Like I said, I'm looking very red on my chest and very yellow on my face on camera. But in real life, I look very normal. As normal as I can look, I guess, especially with this middle bang part going on. Okay, so I'm going to set with my Clinique powder like I usually do. I'm going to dampen my sponge just a tiny bit more. I'm like almost out of this powder and it makes me sad. So I'm going to set my under eyes with this powder. And this eye makeup's still looking kind of crazy because I haven't put anything on the bottom and I haven't blended out this really crazy line. So that's coming. When I first started this video, I was like, I'm not going to do foundation. Nobody likes to see foundation because I do it on every video. But I didn't think past the point of I have to put eyeshadow on the bottom and I can't do that without having concealer on, and then you can't put powder on top of concealer without having your foundation on, so I was thinking like 10 steps behind instead of 10 steps ahead, so here we are. So this is what I always do. So this is nothing different. I'm setting with my Clinique powder. And this is seriously the best powder I have ever used in my life. I love it. It's very finely milled. It blends in really nice. I don't feel like I get cakey throughout the day. It's just a really, really awesome powder. And I'm almost out. I've got like the bottom left. It's sad. Okay, so now I'm going to go into my bottom lash line. And remember, my eyes, or my face is still going to look a little bit crazy because I haven't done any contouring, blush, highlight, anything like that. I'm just working on my eyes right now. I'm going to see if I can turn the brightness up on my phone because it's all the way up. I don't know what's happening. Okay, so I'm going to go in and use the same colors that I used on my eyes. So I'm going to go in with this color, then this color under my eyes. So I'm going to take that first color and I'm just going to blend it up to kind of get rid of that harsh line. I don't think the harsh line's bad, but I don't want it to be as crazy. I've also had a lot of coffee this morning, so I'm feeling a little all over the place and very jittery. So if I'm like talking a million miles a minute and I'm getting off task easy, that would be the whole reason why. It's probably why I'm really hot too. And I've refused to turn our air conditioning on because I just don't want to start that yet. I feel like we went straight from using our heat to using our air conditioning, and I'm just not about that. I want a little time, I want a little break from having to use that stuff. Silco bill to go down just a little bit. And I'm sure other people are with me too. So I'm just going in with that darker brown that we used in the outer corner on top and blending everything together. I'm blending the top to the bottom. And then so what I'm going to do too, so this is a very, very tiny pencil brush, so I'm going to kind of pull my eye and just go into that line and buff it out just a little bit. I still want it to be a little bit sharper of a line, but I don't want it to be as, I don't want it to look like we put tape on and then took tape off. Okay, so that's looking a little bit better. I'm just going to keep blending. When in doubt, just keep blending. That's looking a little wonky over there, but we'll fix that. And the way to fix that, the easiest way to fix that, is to go in with a brush like this that's a little bit thicker. Go into your translucent powder. Pick a little bit of that up. Don't wipe it off. And just stamp it. And then stamp it. And then kind of blend. So it's all about blending right now. Making everything look nice and blend. So that's kind of what we've got going on so far. I always like putting mascara on before I do anything else. Because once you put, I feel like no eye makeup look is done without mascara. So once you put mascara on, you can really see like what's happening and where you need to put more dark, where you need to put more light, and so on. And it just finishes everything off. I always put mascara on the front and back side of my lashes, as you can see. So I pack it on the front and then put it on the back. You see when I stick it on the back right there? It makes your lashes look fuller. You can build up the length a little bit more. And then I wiggle back and forth and I spin my brush. So I spin under here and then I wiggle back and forth up. I always feel like I hold my breath when I do my mascara. I'm not really sure why. And then I just go on to my bottom lashes really quick too. Like so. So that's pretty much it with that. I might as well just finish up my bronzing and blush and everything because that doesn't take very long. So I'm just using the Butter Bronzer, the one that I've been using. It's Physicians Formula. I like it because it takes a little bit to pack on the color, but the color is very natural. It looks very bronzed without overdoing it. And since I go in with blush and contour too, it makes sense to kind of go a little bit lighter handed on bronzer. If I feel like at the end of the situation I need a little bit harder, what the hell? I need a little bit more bronzer, I will go in with my Too Faced bronzer, the Chocolate Soleil one. And I feel like that one has a little bit more red undertones in it, to be honest with you. So that's why I like this one a little bit, because it's a little bit more natural. I just said a little bit about 100 times. Now I'm going to go in with the exact same blush that I always use. It's Urban Decay's Afterglow in the shade Video. It just adds a little tiny baby bit of color back into my cheeks because I take it all out when I do foundation. And then I'm going to go in, if I can find my brush, with a Laura Geller that is a mouthful. Laura Geller Gilded Honey, what is this called? Highlight. So it's a little bit more golden, if you can see it. It's a really, really good summer highlight. So I just put it on the tops of my cheekbones, bring it down to my cheeks just a tiny, tiny bit. Put it right above my eyebrows. Barely put any on the tip of my nose and down the bridge of my nose. And then a little on my Cupid's bow. Tiny bit on my chin. Sometimes I go overboard, but why not, right? You can never have too much highlight. Actually, you can't, but that's a whole nother story. Okay, now I'm going to go into contour a little bit. All my hair is falling out of my clip. So I'm using the same Kat Von D palette with the same shade that I always use. It's the first one to the left in there. It's a little bit ashier toned. The middle one's more of a bronzer. It's a little bit warmer, and the far one is just way too dark for me all the time. Sometimes if I use it, I'll show you. I'll put it like right at the back end of my contour. So I'll just take like a tiny dab and go right at the back end of my contour to just kind of like define it just a tiny bit more. But that's the only place that I'll put it because it is so dark. And then I'm just going to go up here on both sides, because you can't do one side and not the other. Down onto my temples just a little bit to blend it from my hairline to here and there. Contour palette for Super Bare. I seriously have had the same exact problem as you. I recently started tanning, so I'm a little bit darker, but I have been able to use the Kat Von D contour palette with the palest of the pale and the darkest of the dark that I've ever been. So this shade right here, it's a little bit ashier toned, so it looks more like a shadow. It's not like super orange or super, super dark. You do have to use it with a little bit more of a concentrated brush. So I always go in, dab it, tap it off, and then I'll start right back here, kind of work my way forward with the product that's left over and kind of swirl it right in there. And you should be good to go. But the bronzer is the best one that I've ever used for when I'm fair because it's not orange. So I'll show you. That's what the bronzer looks like. I hope that you can kind of see it. So it's almost got a little bit of a shimmer, but it's not got glitter in it. So it glides on your skin really, really nicely. This is the only bronzer that I can use that doesn't look crazy on me when I'm very fair. And when I'm talking very fair, the Infallible Pro Glow in 102 is almost a little bit too dark for me. So I feel you, sister. I feel you on that one. So I would say butter bronzer, and you can never go wrong with the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette as long as you start off with a little bit of product and work up to more. That's my tip. Just always start off with a little and then work up more and you're good to go. Any more questions? No, seriously. I feel you 100%. Start off with a little product, go more, because what I usually use is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil in medium. And it looks like this. Obviously, I like it because I've almost used the whole entire thing. But compared to the other one, it's a little bit more red and it's not as natural. Can you see the difference in the two? This is the butter bronzer. This is the Chocolate Soleil. And you can tell a huge difference. But I completely feel you on that because I've had the same exact issue with bronzers looking too dark. All right. Oh, and then I'm going to finish off with some MAC Fix Plus. This is what I was talking about. This kind of marries your liquid foundation and your powder together so you don't end up looking crazy, cakey, cracked and drying in your dry spots. This kind of just hydrates your face. Now, of course I start talking and get it all in my mouth. This is not necessarily like a setting powder to where you can get a long wear out of it. This is more of a setting powder to get that hydration back in your face so you don't have powder sitting on top of your skin and it looking cakey and gross. So this is kind of like my secret, I guess. My secret weapon. And you can actually get this stuff. I don't know if they sell the full-size things, but I got this at Ulta. Or you can get it off of MAC's website with the big ones, but I feel like they're always sold out. So I think that's all I have. I hope you like this makeup, this eye makeup, and I hope you try the tape trick. And if you do, let me know. Other than that, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.